On the night of January 14th, 1942, a rusty tugboat named Vulcan crept toward a blacked-out harbor in Spanish Africa. Aboard her, 32 British commandos chasing 3 enemy ships guarded by dozens of armed sailors. Sitting in a neutral port, Britain had no legal right to touch. So how did they pull it off in 30 minutes without firing a single shot? The target was Fernando Po, a Spanish island run by a pro-fascist governor. In its harbor sat the Duchessa d'Aosta, an 8,500-ton Italian liner secretly tracking Allied ships for U-boats, alongside a German tug and barge. Guarding them, 46 armed crewmen, backed by coastal guns that could sink a raiding party before it got close. Leading the raid was Major Gus March Phillips. 32 men, 2 borrowed tugboats, and 0 legal permission to be there. The plan wasn't brute force, it was theater. An SOE operative named Richard Lippett had spent weeks undercover on the island, posing as a shipping clerk. He learned one crucial habit. The ship's officers loved a good party ashore. So Lippett threw one, timed for the night of the raid. There was one more detail. Every night at exactly 11:30, Santa Isabel's only generator shut off, and the harbor went black. It happened every single night, and nobody thought twice about it. March Phillips built his entire attack around 30 seconds of routine darkness, and a dinner party nobody suspected was a trap. On January 11th, Vulcan and a second tug, Nuneaton, slipped out of Lagos Harbor with 32 men aboard. 3 days later, at 11:15 p.m. on the 14th, they eased into position just outside Santa Isabel, engines idling in the dark. On shore, Lippett's party was in full swing. 12 Italian officers and 2 German officers were drinking, laughing, and utterly unaware their ships were about to vanish. At 11:30, right on schedule, the town generator cut out. The harbor went black. The tugs moved in. Boarding parties in kayaks paddled toward Lakamba and Babundi. When a lone watchman on Babundi challenged them, they simply told him the captain was coming aboard. He let them pass. March Phillips and his second-in-command, Jeffrey Appleyard, climbed straight up the side of the Duchessa d'Aosta. The skeleton crew left behind, mostly asleep, all of them unarmed for a friendly, neutral port, never stood a chance. And the hardest part hadn't even started yet. Charges went off against the anchor chains, right on cue. The blast cracked across the harbor, and every anti-aircraft gun in Santa Isabel opened fire at once, blasting into an empty sky, convinced they were under air attack. The 6-inch coastal guns, the ones actually capable of sinking 2 slow tugboats, never fired a single round. Crowds gathered on the pier to watch, assuming it was some kind of accident. Under cover of chaos, nobody understood. Vulcan and Nuneaton took all 3 ships under tow and vanished into open sea. The dinner party guests were still drinking when their ships disappeared. The whole operation took 30 minutes. 29 enemy sailors were captured. Not one British commando was hurt. Britain quietly claimed the ships had been intercepted at sea, sparing Spain the embarrassment of admitting its neutral harbor had just been robbed. Operation Postmaster became a blueprint for small, unconventional teams punching far above their weight. And here's the twist. One of the officers who helped plan it from a desk in naval intelligence was a young man named Ian Fleming, who later built a fictional spy around missions just like this one.
If you love stories of misfits pulling off the impossible, subscribe to Epic Past for more forgotten raids was hurt. Next time, the frozen war nobody expected Finland to win.